Welcome back. Calls of the day. MercadoLibre downgraded today to neutral from overweight. JP Morgan. Time to take a breather. They suggest limited room for consensus upside. They do keep the price target $2,400, Joe.
All right, so let's set the expectation for the viewers on this position. First of all, in the JOTI ETF, it's been a holding since April of 23. I cite that because we have a 54% gain. So we have time on our side. We could be patient going through what a period looks like where margins are going to compress. They're going to compress because they're spending, building out distribution centers, spending on logistics. The credit card business is seeing some challenges as well. So you're going to have a period where this might be a pause that will ultimately refresh. I like the e-commerce theme. This is a $104 billion market cap company. It joins Amazon and Coupang in our ownership of e-commerce. Be patient. Ride out what potentially is a margin contraction period.
Rio Tinto, Jenny, got upgraded to buy at Berenberg. What an economic moat really looks like is the commentary from their thing. Price target goes to 79 from 71.
So with Rio, it's really all about the iron ore, and right now they're selling it at 109 a ton. That's down from the 144 in January, but when they talk about that moat, that's because it costs them $22 a ton to produce. So it's extraordinary. They have almost no debt, which puts them in a great position to make acquisitions. And here are the valuations, which are pretty insane. Trading at 10 times earnings, 5 times EBITDA, has a 6.1% dividend yield, has a 7% free cash flow yield. So we own this in our international income strategy, and we love owning it in there because it's a way to play China without actually needing to own Chinese stocks. This is just a quick aside, but there was a headline from Goldman this morning that said hedge funds made record purchases of China shares. And to us, when we hear that, it's hot money flooding into the Chinese shares, not real investment into those companies. So for us, playing Rio is a nice way to actually participate in the growth of China without getting caught up in Chinese stock shares.
Apollo price target raised to 142, reiterated by Bank of America, Joe.
The alternative asset managers right now are seeing very strong tailwinds. In the case of Apollo, you're talking about a company that's raising nearly $150 billion through 2029. In this space, we have ownership of 4 names that are performing very well. Obviously, we own Apollo. In addition, we own KKR, Arch Capital, and Brown & Brown. You could also look towards Evercore, which is up 47% year to date. Surprisingly, Blackstone is struggling, and I'll throw out another name, which is Blue Owl Capital, trading at around $19, doing well, and congratulations to the co-owners of Blue Owl, who just closed on the Tampa Bay Lightning yesterday, $1.8 billion.
Okay. Berkshire price target, 512 from 488 by CFRA. You want to take that one?
Listen, Berkshire is so good at finding quality and value in the market. I would imagine that they were first in identifying opportunities in Japan. We've seen recent weakness in Japan. They'll take advantage of that as well. Then in the energy space, we just learned a utility that was previously held at 92% by Berkshire. They just bought the remaining 8%. Berkshire Energy did. The estate of Walter Scott, that's where they got the other 8%. So they're just able to realize value in all environments where there seems to be weakness, price weakness.
Carrier Global, Deutsche says catalyst sell call. What do you think, Jenny?
So
that's their short-term rating. The target's $70, $10 below where it is now.
Yeah, so this is a really tough one for us. We bought this in 2021. We paid $37 a share for it, and it was trading at 17 times. Fast forward now, it's at 27 times, and we actually trimmed it about 2 weeks ago now on the 20th. We trimmed it when it was about 80.5. We took it from about a 5% position back down to a 3% position for exactly these reasons, that it just moved up too fast. Management spoke at a conference, and there was so much enthusiasm that the stock took another leg up. So here we sit, and we're like, this is a great company. There's huge wind at the back in terms of the world broadly using more air conditioning. In the U.S., people wanting more and more efficient air conditioning systems, so there's huge growth. But the valuation's a stretch. So we're kind of on the fence with our 3% remaining position, and don't disagree with the sell rating.
All right, the trade desk, some optimism here, Joe, from Truist and Dan Ives. Truist goes to 120. Ives goes 115. They're both obviously constructive on this name, and I think you own this.
Absolutely, and they should be constructive on this name. This is coming up on now 2 years that we've had this holding based on the momentum factor more than anything else in the ETF. So momentum is not just cyclical, Jenny, it's secular as well. I'm very surprised that this company has not been added to the S&P 500. That was the expectation. It grows its revenue at 25% over the last 3 years on a consistent quarterly basis and has a very strong share of the digital ad market using AI. $53 billion market cap. I wouldn't be surprised if someone buys this company at some point.